Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today we will present about the inflations. So the country that we choose is Turkey. So before I start, I need to introduce our members. My name is Naisha Mutimah Imran. We also have Putri Farisha, Nur Afika Badria, Tengku Irfan Iskandar, and Muhammad Afiq Farhan. So in this presentation, we will tell about how the Turkey inflations in their country. So, for the introduction for the Turkey, I will explain you about the history Turkey first. So, the Republic of Turkey was founded in 1923 by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, replacing the dynastic and theocratic Ottoman system, which is the Sultanates and Caliphates. The new republic was based on secular, democratic, pluralist, and democracy. They also used the parliamentary and pluralist system. In 1945, Turkey joined the UN and became a member of the NATO in 1952. So next, I will explain about the population in the Turkey. So Turkey in 2023 population is estimated at 85 billion and above people at mid-year. Turkey population is equivalent to 1.07% of the total world population. Turkey ranks numbers is 18 in the list of the countries by population. Population's density in Turkey is 112 per kilometer. In Southeast Asia, Turkey is a leading nation in collecting complete data on its population through the use of a modern census. For the economic growth in Turkey, Turkey's economy expanded by a more than expected 5.9% in the third quarter, driven by household spending. By activity should begin to slow after aggressive monetary tightening meant to cool domestic demand and high inflation. Gross domestic product (GDP) grew 0.3% from the previous quarter on a seasonally and calendar adjusted basis. Well done sequentially data from the Turkish Statistical Institute.
So my name is Putri Farisha Alina binti Muhammad Fazli. So today I will talk about inflation, which is inflation rate and trend for 10 years previous. So we go to inflation. What is inflation? Inflation can define as an increase in prices that results in a loss of buying power over time. The average price increase of a basket of selected goods and services over time can show the rate at which buying power declines. The increase in pricing, which is frequently stated as a percentage, signifies that a unit of currency buys less than it did previously. Inflation is distinguished from deflation, which happens when price fall but buying power still rises. Inflation seeks to assess the overall impact of prices fluctuations on a wide range of goods and services. It enables a single value representations of an economy increases in the price level of goods and services over time. So next I will explain about the inflation rate of Turkey for 10 years previous. So the research that I found is from 2012 to 2022. So first one is I will go through on 2012 first, which is inflation rate on that year is 8.89%. On 2013 is 7.49%. On 2014 is 8.85%. On 2015, inflation rate on that year is 7.67%. On 2016 is 7.78%. On 2017 is 11.40%. On 2018 is 60.33%. On 2019 is 50.80%. On 2020 is 12.28%. On 2021, the inflation rate is 19.60%. which the last one is 2022. The inflation rate is 72.31%. And the next one, I will explain about the trend of Turkey for 10 years previous. So in the early part of the previous 10 years, which is from 2050 to 2050, Turkey went through a period of relative stability in its inflation rates. Annual inflation rates during this year were usually in the 7 to 8% range. So this stage was followed by strong economic expansion, during which the government successfully controlled the inflations. A sense of economic stability and investor confidence were strengthened by these policies, which include cautious fiscal management and monetary policy. But this is about to be disturbed. From 2060 to 2080, inflation in Turkey increased slowly, reaching almost 25% in October 2080. Factors contributing to this increase included the rapid depreciation of the Turkish lira, high private sector debt, persistent current account deficits, high inflation and high employment. Macro-financial instability since August 2080 exacerbated the effects of inflations. Fiscal policy and political instability further exacerbated the situations, causing financial difficulties for many Turkish households. During phase 3, Turkey experienced a significant lira crisis from 2018 to 2019, leading to 25.24% increase in annual inflation in August 2080. Currency rate fluctuations increased the cost of imported goods and essentials, and in October, annual consumer price inflation reached nearly 20%, 4 times faster than Turkey's target rate of 5%. Turkey's annual inflation rate was approximately 65% at the end of 2023. Following late 1990s, these were roughly the highest level recorded. This was slightly below the expectation of economists, followed by Reuters of 65.1%. Month-on-month, inflation cooled to 2.9% from 3.3%. Among the main groups, hotels, cafes and restaurants continued to see the largest annual price hike with 93.24%, while housing posted the lowest with 40.39%. The central bank projected that inflation would peak between 17 and 75% in May 2024 and then drop to roughly 36% by the end of the same year. Key factors that lead to this high inflation included significant rises in the minimum wage that affected millions of workers who have worked, and increased consumptions of natural gas during winter months. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, we go to the next slide, which is the causes of inflation in Turkey. So before that, my name is Muhammad Afiq Farhan bin Arifin. So there's inflation causes of inflation in Turkey. So the first one is demand pull inflation. The demand pull inflation is caused by an increase in the aggregate demand. Turkey's rapid economic growth in recent decades has led to increased consumption and investment, but without corresponding increase in production capacity, resulting in higher prices. Next, we go to the next one is cost push inflation. Cost push inflation is the outcome of higher cost of production and decreased aggregate supply, which raises prices. In Turkey, a significant factor contributing to cost push inflation is the depreciation of the Turkish lira. As the lira loses value, imports become more expensive, particularly for essential items like oil and gas. Last but not least, monetarily inflation. So, monetarily driven inflation, a result of extensive increase in the money supply, is influenced by expansionary monetary or fiscal policy, such as Turkey low interest rate under President Erdogan unconventionally economic view. So that's all for me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tengku Ifah Iskandar bin Tengku Ahmad, and in this page, I'm going to talk about the effect of inflation to the Turkey. There are three main effects of inflation, which is the first one is the decreased purchasing power. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of a currency. According to a survey by Unilever Social Research Center, more than 2/3 of people in Turkey are struggling to pay for food and cover their rent. This will lead the consumer to the search of mental illness and debt. The next one is the interest rate. The central bank often respond to high inflation by raising interest rate to curb spending and investment. High interest rate can impact borrowing costs for business and individual. This has full record-breaking inflation in Turkey among the highest rate in Europe. And last but not least, the uncertainty. High inflation can create uncertainty in the economy, make it challenging for business and individual to plan for the future. This uncertainty can affect investment decisions, leading to reduced economic growth. Many economists deem the policy unorthodox since lower rates would naturally fuel inflation as well as the growth.
Next, move on to the measure to control inflation in Turkey. Measure that I choose is fiscal policy. In December 1999, Turkey created a plan to control rising prices, which is inflation in their country. Turkey has attempted to meet its fiscal objective by reining in government spending and decreasing private and public sector borrowing, which have led to a decrease in the growth rate of debt stock. The drastic drop of interest rate was a result of the substantial decline in inflationary expectation and the risk premium. As a result, Turkey began to see a decreased growth rate of its budget deficit. The Turkey President Erdogan has been using unconventional methods such as lowering interest rate to try and reduce inflation in Turkey. However, these strategies haven't been effective and economic experts see them as unusual. The other ways to help citizens cope with the economic challenges caused by inflation, the Turkey government took a different steps, which is in February 2022, they decide to address rising prices by lowering the value add tax on essential food items from 8% to 1%. There are three recommendations to reduce inflation in Turkey, which is price control, exchange rate, and supply side policy. Government sometimes implement price control as a tool to manage inflation. Price controls involve setting maximum prices that can be charged for certain goods and services. The idea behind this is to prevent prices from rising too rapidly, thereby curbing inflation and ensuring affordability for consumers. Turkey countries use an overvalued exchange rate means that the country currency is considered to be higher in the value that it is actual worth based on market conditions. If a country maintains an overvalued exchange rate, its export can become more expensive for other countries. As a result, the demand for those exports may decrease, leading to slower economic growth. This sluggish economic activity can contribute to lower inflation because businesses may produce less, reducing overall demand in the economy. Supply side policy refers to a set of economic measures and strategies that the government employ to enhance the production capacity and efficiency of the economy. Government may invest in the development and improvement of physical infrastructure such as road, bridge, port, and utilities. This can lead to increased productivity by reducing transportation costs, improving logistics, and providing a more conducive environment for businesses to operate.
So for the conclusion, Turkey is a country that the high